Hello there, I am Fernanda Paiva, hitchhiking stars and bringing you some insights about the lunations. So let's talk about the lunations in August, more specifically about the coming new moon solar eclipse. Yes, it's a solar eclipse. So welcome to the second eclipse season of 2026. So this is big, this is important, but it is part of the cycle. It is something that happens every year, twice a year, so there's nothing to fear either. It's important, yes, but it's not completely rare and unique, and everything is going to change after this eclipse, as we see out there, on a lot of clickbait stuff. So let's talk about it. So this new moon eclipse will be happening on the 12th of August, 2026. And depending where you are in the world, different times. So really make sure you have a look just to confirm. And it will be happening at 20 degrees Leo. So we have the lunar nodes already shifted. So we already have North Node in Aquarius, South Node in Leo. And the eclipse seasons always will have something to do with the nodes. They're always happening near or around the nodes. So we're going to see this shift in eclipses in that pair in Aquarius and Leo. So really bringing a lot of emphasis in this axis, in this pair of the signs of the zodiac. Now, there are a few things I want to tell you about this new moon specific, about the Sabian Symbol, the tarot cards as usual. But first, just a reminder, eclipses can have a feeling of an earthquake. An earthquake is just the plates kind of rearranging themselves. And as a result of a kind of rearrangement, a reorganization, we have that impact. We kind of feel as if there is an earthquake kind of happening. Does that mean that we're all going to experience an earthquake sort of event with this new lunar cycle? Not necessarily. It really depends how strongly connected with your birth chart this is, where you're at in your life, how much need you really need right now, or how much change you really need right now as well. Because sometimes when we're trying to avoid change, we know we need to change something, but we don't really want to do it, then the astrology can be reflective of the universe giving us the kick that we need. So sometimes eclipse season can be that kick that we need, but sometimes it can also just be the confirmation of some of the choices we've made, and that it is the path that we really need to take. So it has to do with change. It has to do with, another analogy I love is crossing a tunnel, and you need to leave some luggage behind. You can't just take everything with you and cross that tunnel to the other side. In order to get to the other side, you're going to have to leave something behind. So think in those terms. What can you leave behind? And how can you set intentions for this new moon? How can you use this energy of this new moon solar eclipse intentionally to leave something behind? All right. So some of the ideas I'm going to be sharing with you here is really insights of what makes sense to you right now, makes sense to you in the context of your life. So pick and choose what makes sense as you do your rituals, as you do your intentions, etc. So let's have a look at the chart first. As I said, is a new moon solar eclipse. It's happening at 20 degrees Leo, but we also have a stellium in Leo. And by stellium, we mean 3 or more planets or points in the same sign of the zodiac or in the same house. So obviously we have the South Node in Leo. The sun and the moon obviously is a new moon, but we also have Jupiter and Mercury in Leo. So there's quite a lot of Leo that's being emphasized in this new moon. Now, Leo is ruled by the sun. So the sun is very, very strong when it's placed in that sign of the zodiac. However, it's a solar eclipse, and it is also conjoined, largely kind of conjoined to the south node as well. So perhaps this new moon is really talking about letting go of some of the shadows of Leo, at the same time that we embrace some of the best qualities, some of the gifts of Leo. So I think it's really important to brainstorm a little bit on what could be the shadows that we're a little bit stuck on. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that, because the Sabian Symbol seems to be really agreeing with this, seems to be really talking about this as well. So any tendencies to search for validation outside ourselves, that need for confirmation, that need for adoration from someone else to give us a sense of worth, to give us a sense of specialness, any ego-driven, goals, and those things will need to be looked at. Is it coming from your inner? Is it coming from your inner source? Is it coming from your essence? Is it really truly authentic to what you're about? Or is it really coming from ego-driven ideas of what you should be, how you should look like, how successful you should be in the eyes of the, others, and, getting the applause of others as that feeling of validation? Because the gifts of Leo is that knowledge that you are special for who you are, and everybody else is also. You're not the king of the queen or anything like that. You are as special as everybody else is as well. We're all unique. We all have our unique path, our unique gifts to bring to the community. And that's the Leo Aquarius axis. That's that North Node in Aquarius as well. Telling us that contribution is really important. Realizing that we are part of a group, that we're part of the human family is really important. So those are some of the themes here. With Mercury being so close to Jupiter, we could also have some insights, some ideas, some powerful visions that comes to us about what's possible, about what we would really like to do. And with Leo, and so much Leo like this, I would say that maybe, even though you might have a lot of ideas, a lot of things that could come up, the measuring, the filter is your heart, right? Leo has a resonance with the heart. So really going through your heart and seeing if that really, really resonates with you. That new idea, that new hobby, that new, project that you're really feeling strongly about, is really run it through your heart. And with such a stellium in Leo here, is really asking us to be aligned, to look through that lens in whatever direction that we're deciding to take, or whatever it is that we need to let go of as well. Now, a couple of things that is really jumping at me as well from this chart, from what I'm looking, I've got the chart right in front of me for this powerful new Moon Solar Eclipse, is that we have quite a few grand configurations here. We have a kite, we have obviously a grand trine, because a kite is also made of a grand trine, but we also have the reactivation of that basket. I don't know how much you guys have been looking into this, hearing about this, but last month there was a lot of talk about the Barbos Basket. And Barbos was a French astrologer, and he looked into this configuration with a lot of optimism. And the basket was basically exact, formed between Pluto, 4 degrees Aquarius, Neptune. So Pluto sextile Neptune, 4 degrees Aries, which is sextile Uranus, 4 degrees Gemini, which was sextile Jupiter, 4 degrees Leo. Now, that's happened around the 19th of July, 2021. But now Mercury is kind of hovering over that degree. where Jupiter was. And this is going to be happening during this new moon eclipse. So I really feel that the basket is going to be activated again. Now, it was exact in July, but Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus move really slowly. They're going to be forming trines and sextiles to each other for a while. So every planet that crosses that threshold of the beginning of Leo will get involved and will play the role of Jupiter. Will kind of give us another reminder, will give us another insight, another vision connected with that. The basket for me really had a connection with evolution, removal of obstacles, new fresh perspectives, potential new directions as well. And it's something that's really relevant for us collectively. But obviously, the collective is made of individuals. So whatever it is that we're doing individually will have an impact on the collective as well. So if you can just think about what you were going through, what were you inspired by on those days of July, during this new moon eclipse, you can kind of reclaim it again. You can think about it again. You can potentially communicate, take a few more steps towards that goal or something like that with that Mercury activating the basket again. There's one more planet that is involved in there, and that is Venus in Libra. So Venus is 5 degrees Libra during this full moon eclipse. So I really feel, full moon or new moon eclipse, so I really feel that is the blueprint for the lunar cycle, because it's a new moon. So the whole cycle will carry that, the ideas, the impulses of that Barbos Basket a little further. You know, we're gonna keep going with that. So yeah, and obviously with that emphasis in Leo there as well, on the Leo side of the axis, the Leo Aquarius, because of the North Node in Aquarius. So what do we need to leave behind that's got a Leo flavor, that doesn't work anymore, that doesn't align anymore, that doesn't serve anymore, either us or our community as well? So this is really important and powerful. Now, in terms of the Sabian symbol, the Sabian symbol for 20 degrees Leo is intoxicated chickens dizzily flap their wings trying to fly. What a curious imagery. So we've got intoxicated chickens dizzily flap their wings trying to fly. Obviously they can't fly, but they're intoxicated as well. And I thought this was such an interesting imagery for this solar eclipse in Leo as well. You know, it's like with so much Leo in there. Now, usually chicken, we'll be talking about fertility and protection, in some cultures about motherly love as well and things like that. But because we're having an imagery of chickens that are actually intoxicated and they are trying to fly intoxicated, I mean, that's not going to work. So we do have some issues here. And obviously, you know, you're being a chicken is like you're not having courage as well. So there's something about courage here. Either being unrealistic about the courage that we're having or lacking courage to do something. This is like being called. Courage is very important when we have the Leo flavor as well. Now, we can think of false courage, you know, putting a face and pretend, you know, not really having the actual courage to do something. It could be about unrealistic assessment. We could also be talking about inflation here, a sense of I can definitely do this, but obviously it's not based on reality. So there's an inflation here of our capabilities. Doing things beyond our means, or a sense of immaturity as well that this imagery is bringing. So all of those really, I think, is connected to the shadows of Leo. And that's, you know, any of those that we might be doing, to be really honest with ourselves, to look at ourselves in the mirror as an invitation for this new moon, to let go of some of those. Remember, eclipse season, letting go of something, leaving something behind as we walk through that tunnel to get to the other side. So letting go of some of the shadows of Leo will be a great call. And that would free a space to set intentions that are actually authentic, that are actually connected with our sense of authenticity, which is so leonine. It could be about passion projects. It could be about our inner child. It could be about things that we really love, that we really have fun with, right? It could be about new hobbies. But really, our sense of specialness, that's a given. It does not rely on other people agreeing, clapping their hands. It does not rely on an audience. So if we need an audience to affirm that sense of self, then that's something that we need to look into. And this new moon eclipse will give us a wonderful opportunity to heal that, to let go of that. Now, the tarot cards, we have the Strength card, is the major arcana card associated with Leo, which I love. I mean, the connection there is that inner strength. The inner strength, which is also very gentle. And it's about being ourselves, right? That process of becoming ourselves requires a lot of that strength. The taming of the lion. But also not overly taming the lion, because we would lose touch with our instincts, with our passion. So it's a wonderful imagery for this new moon eclipse. And for the minor arcana cards, we've got the 5, the 6, then the 7th of Wands, of fire. And in particular, the 7 of Wands could be a great imagery here, because it's the 3rd decan of Leo, which is where this new moon will be happening. So yeah, have a think, have a look, play with those cards, because I feel this could be a unique opportunity for healing, for moving on from things that really don't work anymore, and to reconnect with the zest, passion and fun and the inner child as well. So that's it. I hope this has been useful. I'm wishing you guys a transformative and empowering new moon eclipse, and I'll be speaking to you all soon. So take care now. Bye bye.